thank everybody, obviously, for coming today. You know, one thing that I realized was back in August, I have a very good friend who's 83. The guy's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. We talk probably once a week. And I texted him, I sent him a deal of a lifetime, a lending deal. And he didn't get back to me. And I'm like, oh, he's got so much money, we reply tomorrow. 2 days goes by. So I sent an email out like, dude, what's going on? I put his son's on it. And he said, I hate to tell you this, my father had a stroke. And I'm like, oh my God, like, this is a guy like I love, like I talk to all the time, but I don't spend enough time with him in person, right? So I've been fortunate enough to close deals, even some of your own personal deals with all of you. Tell stories about almost every one of you. Greg, I will save yours. You know, played college football with Scott's son. You know, went to the same high school as Jermaine. Met Gabe online. He was on Grindr. I don't know where that came from, but me and Amal met back. I think she cold called me in 2009 when I was like this little kid in the business. Like, I don't know. I thought she was hitting on me, and it turned out that she was trying to pimp out her husband. And you know, me and her husband closed probably 50 to 100 203K loans by 2015, and we developed like such an admirable friendship and something I think the world of. You know, Mark's been a friend for long glory. We closed the bridge loan together in 2021. Sent you your referral fee, and we've been friends since. You know, Bill, same thing. Max, you know, I was always the young guy in the room, and Max is now the youngest guy in the room by like a decade. How old are you?
27.
But he deadlifts 500 pounds, which is pretty cool. So I really wanted to bring everyone together. I wanted to give everybody the opportunity to meet people that I do business with. I think that's just ultra important. I think you guys can all become friends and do business. So what I wanted to start off is I want everybody to like share a story from the past 3 years, like since COVID has ended. On like what kept you inspired, or like what kept you in the business, so we could all get to know each other, and also like tell everyone who you are, what you do, and then we'll you know, take a little flow of how this goes. But I want this to be like fun, interactive, and I want you guys to like leave here with new friends and inspired to like, you know, go take on this market for 2024. So we'll start with the youngest buck in the room, put him on the spot.
Yeah.
It's your audition.
My name's Max.
Start the oldest, put him up.
I'm fine with that.
We're gonna forget what we're thinking.
But yeah, my name's Max. I work with Conventus Lending. Like Jeff said, we do non-QM investment purpose loans. So single family up to 30 units, ground up construction as well, DSCR lending as well. And I would just say like what keeps me motivated in the space is like, you know, seeing Jeff and like other people who have been super successful with it. And like as a young guy, it's like, you know, good to have mentors and, you know, look up to them, see he's still hungry, he's still grinding every day. And you know, not to toot your horn too much, but a lot of good people around me, and like that's what keeps me motivated. So
one thing I tell you about Max is, you know, I remember Amal probably knows this. Like early on in my career, when you called me, the phone wouldn't even ring. I'd pick it up. Like I'd have my phone in my hand, one of the 5. Text, call, email instantly, right? That's Max, you know, so like when Max and I first got connected, I had reached out to the company he was with. He replied instantly, and still to this day, call, text, email, he's on his game, right? And like in this market, response time is so critical, and keeping your word. Like I call him nights and weekends, he's responding. Like to me, that's valuable, right? Extend the deal elsewhere. They don't always have the best pricing or the highest leverage or the best product, but I trust him. I know if I give him a deal, it's either getting done or I'm passing it on to someone else because he can't get it done. So that's why I deal with Max. And you know, it's nice seeing somebody 10 years younger than me, like, you know, still having that same drive and motivation in a world where a lot of people don't want to work.
yeah, consistency is a huge thing. Like in this business, I think like you have to wake up at the same time every day. You have to like give the same response times. Like if Jeff calls and I like don't answer, I'll text him and say like, hey, I'm in a meeting, call you in 20, stuff like that.
I value that.
Yeah.
You know?
So do I.
Mr. Bill?
Hey, Bill Appiana, I'm the president of Paxton Financial Services. I've known Jeff, what, about 7, 8 years?
Probably more now.
More?
Yeah.
So
2015, I think.
now we're 9. So I run my own independent financial advisory practice. We have a niche in alternative investments, primarily with 1031 exchanges, tax solutions for clients on personal residences or 1031 rescues. Delaware Statutory Trust is a big strategy, so if the client has a property that they're looking to divest and not look to manage, for what I call deal at the time, tenant toilets, we're a solution provider for that. A couple people I know here, we're going to meet everybody. What keeps me motivated are my kids, right?
And your wife.
Oh, that's a whole other conversation. You know, my growing up, I didn't have everything that I wanted, and I didn't want for anything, but that's why I kind of made the move to the financial advisory practice, and I want to make sure that my kids don't make the same mistakes my parents did and things of that nature. So that keeps me constantly motivated. Plus, sleepaway camp and a bat mitzvah coming up is you know, a little bit of driving. But Jeff, thank you for inviting me. Pleasure to meet all of you on offline. So thank you.
Thank you, Jeff, for inviting me. So as Jeff mentioned, we did a deal. It was 2021. Did a bridge loan.
February 2021.
Yep. That house. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so I am a licensed real estate broker. I am a licensed general contractor. I am a licensed lead inspector, risk assessment, and I love what I do. I love construction. Anything that has to do with homes. It's not typically a woman that's doing the construction, but I'm really good, and I've done several flips on my own. I've done it with my family for many years. In fact, you don't know this about me, but my family owned about 40 buildings in downtown Jersey City.
Oh, wow.
Before the boom. So I'm not a newbie to real estate. I'm very proud of the hard work that I do. I do everything for my family. I'm a grandmother of 2. And yeah, they keep me motivated. I want to make sure that they understand their legacy. They understand the benefit of hard work. I never have a problem with hard work. I actually had I have a crick in my neck now because we had a water event in our home, and they allowed their contractor to be the homeowner. And so I am just meticulously doing everything that needs to get done. So, thank you.
Very good. Your better half? I mean, you're...
Better?
I didn't know she was married by her statement, but I also help her. That's what keeps me focused. I'm also here. I'm a licensed real estate agent for New Jersey, New York. We work with the same company, Villa Home, which is a national brand.
I'm his team leader.
They're out of California.
You have to throw that in there. You have to throw that in there.
New Jersey.
Do you make any decisions or none?
Yeah, I make this.
All right.
I've been in real estate in New York for about 15 years. I worked at City Habitat on rental properties, and I left the business in 2008 when this whole market crashed.
When everyone else did.
And came back, and I went back, started in New Jersey, and then went back to New York.
Mr. Lawrence, minus the tie?
No tie. I said it's a much hipper crowd. I did wear a tie last week and put a picture up with that on social media, and I was bringing the tie back. But,
Short-lived New Year's resolution.
yeah, I never liked the tie, but I don't miss it. So I'm Mark Lawrence with Worldwide Land Transfer, I'm one of the partners. It's a title insurance agency. We're licensed in about 22 states, so we do work all over the country. My background, actually, I've been in the real estate arena 30 years. I once was Max. I was the young guy at the table. Now I'm, one of the older guys, or maybe the oldest guy.
Maybe.
Which goes really fast, actually. I've been trying to take that one word of what everybody said here at the meeting, actually, to kind of pick up some themes, trust, consistency, kids, family, hard work. So, so I'm trying to pick up some themes here in this meeting. And what kept me going during COVID really was, or as I said, I was an attorney when I started, so I practiced for 7 years. I was a real estate broker with the Corcoran Group here in Manhattan for 5 years, and I've been in title for 16. But what kept me going the last couple of years really is the people. And I like real estate. I like the aspects of the deal. That's interesting to me. But more interesting is the people. And through Jeff and got to meet a lot of people in the room. Been fortunate. Gabe and I are working on something right now. I've worked with Greg. I've worked with I've worked with Anthony. But we've talked a lot. Joe I met through Jeff. So meeting and a lot of people in the room. But I would say that that's the most important thing in this business, and being truthful and honest. Like with Gabe, as I'll say, actually we have a deal, and admittedly I fucked up. Actually, pardon my French, I'm on camera, but he introduced me to an attorney. Attorney sent me the deal. 2 weeks later, he sends me an email saying, I didn't see a confirmation on that. I didn't see the attachment on the email, actually, and that was my fault. Which delayed the deal, and there was a lock issue. But the key thing I'll say from being around 30 years is I told Joe, I told Gabe, this is my screw up. I've screwed up. Let me know how I can try to fix it. Hopefully we'll get it closed actually. So, you know, that's the key thing is not everybody's perfect, but, you know, being honest and working with the people that you trust. You know, everybody knows, you know, yeah, listen, sometimes you get yelled at, you know, and, you know, but that's life and you got to accept it. And it's better to work with good people that you trust. And I assume everyone at this table is like that because they were vetted and re-verified.
Pizzello, what do you got?
I'm Anthony Pizzello. I live, if most people from New York, down at the Jersey Shore, which can be seen far away. Just recently became owner in a local real estate company that we're starting to grow. So I cover Middlesex, Monmouth, and Ocean counties. Background has been contracting, growing up in a contracting family, residential, commercial appraisals. Now switched over to real estate sales. A native more from Central Jersey, but I live down at the shore, and I love it. What motivates me is I'm happy that my office is 1.5 miles from my house, right? So it saves me a lot of time. I get to pick up my son from school every day, spend time with him. And I love real estate. It's all I've been in. And what I'm beginning to at this part of my life is I still work every day. I'm in the office by 7:45. I'm done with my prospecting by 2. I do service work at night. But helping people who are actually motivated and want to be in real estate sales and learn, right? I think my background, knowing a lot of different stuff in real estate has helped out. But there's still some people who want to learn, like some of the people come to my office, they're there prospecting every day because we're more prospecting based. And that doesn't mean cold calls. It's how do I grow my business? Like, what are your goals? What's the lifestyle you want? Because I'm slowly creating the lifestyle that I want and I'm starting to have. So I just want to help younger people in the industry do that also.
So before Amal talks, she can kick half the guy's ass in this room. So whoever wants to like
ready to say
scrap,
that.
I know that. I know. I took it. You know? I know. I can say it. Especially Morgan. Watch out, dude.
Again. So you're the target.
He's an easy target, you know.
So he's sitting right across.
Big teddy bear.
So I'm Amal El-Shimi, and I am born and raised in Brooklyn, and maybe that's why he says that, but I really could probably kick everybody's ass.
Yeah,
Anyway.
definitely.
I work for Keller Williams. I'm a licensed real estate agent out of Long Island, but because I'm originally from New York, I do a lot of business in the city, mainly specifically Harlem, New York. Harlem is changing a lot, not just the people, but or the environment, but the properties. They're not. It used to be one of the hottest locations, and I would say it's not as hot anymore because I think of pricing issues. So it's not like the best thing in the world to get a listing in Harlem anymore. It just sits for a long time. So having said that, I've now moved more to do more Long Island deals where I'm close to home. I also have a 2 or 3K license like my husband. He was in construction. I love construction, as you do, and I renovated my whole house in Long Island by myself. I GC'd it myself. I mean, I didn't use my own hands, but I told everybody what to do.
She's good at that, for those that were wondering.
Even my husband did not have a say. I actually asked him for one option, and I looked at him and I said, "Are you sure?" So he has zero opinion about that house came out. For me, motivation is really like, I love real estate for many reasons. Obviously, the money is great, but it sounds so cliche, but I really don't care about the money, to be honest. I love the flexibility. I have 3 children. I have an 18-year-old, a 16-year-old, and a 7-year-old. And every one of my children have had me around for everything. I don't miss a game. I don't miss them off the bus. I travel all over the world for them for sports. We're a very big sport family. So the fact that I can make my own schedule, be an amazing mom and a wife and a business person all at the same time is my biggest flex. So I love doing that. And I love being a woman in the industry. And I love telling people what to do. So I look forward to meeting you.
I think that's the most admirable quality.
My wife.
Listen, Amal would literally sell a house, handle construction, and sell her husband's services, like all on one call. And I'm like, how the fuck you do all this, And this is like 14 years ago, before social media was, like LinkedIn was the only thing that we had.
Out at the same time.
Yeah, she's like a no nonsense, no bullshit. She'll drag you out of the house, and like I admire that, holding the fort down. Yeah. And her husband's like no pushover. He's just a smart guy, he lets her.
Yeah. Like, you like to do it, I'll let you do it.
Yeah, whatever.
Good guy, just let you do it.
Yeah.
Mr. Morga.
So my name is Greg Morga. I'm a mortgage lender with AMAC Home Mortgage. I actually met Jeff because he had a Facebook post where he quizzed people about how he got a cryptocurrency estate deal done, I think it was. And I always go with my gut, right? And I just knew he was different. And I'm very, very big on mentorship. I've been in the industry since 2019. I was fortunate through a lot of dedication, hard work to be able to build a pretty big business for being new and running my own branch. But you always got to get better, right? And I just had that feeling that he knew a lot more than most people you get from coaching, so I reached out to him, and you know, ever since then he's been my mentor. He's helped me through a lot. He's considered a big brother of mine to me. I'll tell you 3 things that I believe are essential for how I grew my business. Number 1 was stay humble, right? Number 2, my number 1 rule is that when you say you're going to be at a meeting, you go. I've never missed a meeting. If I tell someone I'm going to be somewhere, I'm always there, because then they trust you, right? And then number 3, know your worth. And that is not an oxymoron to be humble and know your worth. You know, I'd rather be truthful than tell you what you want to hear, right? So that's really helped me. Going through the pandemic, what helped me as a mortgage lender get through during 2021 was a lot of coffee, because I mean, it was like 17,000 refis a day. But going through those years, the transition of, you know, heavy refinance to, you know, very hard to get a deal, margin compression, I think it's just blocking out the noise, right? Not letting the markets and Google and other people that are not in the trenches telling you how much money you should make and how much you can make. It's just believing in yourself, sticking to what made you who you are in the first place, and just constantly doing that every single day. And also having a family to support that as well. I wouldn't be here without my son and my wife. One more thing that has really helped me too is I started focusing on my personal life a little bit more. I was really like a workaholic. I still am, he knows. But getting healthy, you know, eating the right way, being active, being okay with leaving the office, and being, you know, what's the difference between an emergency and something that can be handled the next day? That has actually made me more focused and more profitable. So, and then one more thing I would say is if I just listened to what Jeff told me 9 months prior, most of the time I probably would have a lot less stress, but it's a learning curve.
And a lot more money.
Yeah.
One thing I'll tell you about Greg is, like, he works harder than anybody, probably even harder than I did, like, early on in my career, you know? So, like, one thing I've always admired about him is, like, his hard work, and I've never met somebody that doesn't like Greg Morga unless he's a threat to them, right? So, like, hard work is good, but being a good person is probably a little bit better. So when you compound those 2 things, like, you're sitting here with somebody that in his 2nd or 3rd year in the business cleared over $1 million on a W-2. Putting that out there. You know, so, like, I admire that. My shining star, what do you got?
Rachel Melito.
Recently married.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
I heard half congratulations. I heard half like, ugh. You know? That was like a tug here, huh? I got more of.
Bites the dust now.
Thank you, thanks. I'm a real estate broker associate with a small boutique brokerage in Bergen County. Going on, this will be year 7 for me. It's a journey. I think I guess I met Jeff through social media, and then I formally met you when you invited me to your Deposit That podcast.
We had a bunch of people on Deposit That here, a couple.
Which was my first podcast ever, and very nerve-wracking, but...
Made it.
Yeah. And some of the things that I got from that, too, was like, I learned that I don't say yes enough. Like, I need to say yes more, which is why I'm here. I'm here to network and meet people and, you know, bounce ideas off each other. And this year is my motivation is that, like, to put myself out there more, say yes more, and be involved and, you know, not just be on social media and communicate through there, but elsewhere. So first step is here. Looking to get my broker's license in PA, so if anybody is PA licensed or knows of anyone, I'd really like to chat on that. Sorry?
I can help you.
Oh, great.
His company's based out of Philly.
Okay, cool. Well, I have your info here, so that's good.
He's like a girl's best friend, too, for all you ladies in the room. So if anyone you're looking for like a male best friend that's not a threat, it's Mark Lawrence.
50 platonic female.
Also a notary, so if anybody needs anything notarized, I got you there. And other than that, I really like what you said. Thank you for your 3 points there.
It was really like 7. He lied.
Well, then the plus one.
Typical mortgage guy. 3 points, not 7.
But I like that, and I'm a very happy person. I'm always smiling. I have on my phone smile every day as if I need that as a reminder, which I don't. But just if you'll take one thing away from what I am about to say is just smile because it's free. Yeah.
So like, if you guys can picture like a dark room, like a dark industry, or like tough times, like Rachel's like always been that bright spot. Whether she posts or puts a video, like kind of like a model. Like you're never gonna hear any bullshit or negativity or complaining. Like you get up, you work, you smile, you know, you get shit done. You know, like I think again, like we need in this industry that constant positivity, right? Like that shining star that you know that North Star is always gonna be there. Like that's how I've always thought of it. So
Thank you.
you got it. Mr. Santos?
Sir, so thanks for the invite, Jeff. I met Jeff with the Gorga event.
Years ago, yeah, 2019.
Years ago. You guys remember the Gorga event or not? Probably not, no. So that's where I met Jeff. Yeah.
Joe Gordon.
Grow with Gorga, yeah.
Grow with right. And I met
What, your wife watches all that bullshit?
my list.
I know you don't watch that. Yeah.
So I met Jeff. He stood out a lot to me in the way he does business. Definitely a pioneer. I know you've been doing mortgages for a long time, and I respect you a lot. And that's how I met Jeff. Mike Santos, I've been in the mortgage industry since 2001. I'm 45 this year, so I've been doing.
Are you 45?
I'm 45 this year in May. Yeah.
Ages well.
So I've been doing this a long time, and it's been good to me. And I think one of the main ingredients why I stuck through the business was my mentor back in 2001. A guy named Tony. He took me in under his wing. He didn't pay me for a year straight, and he just mentored me. And he says, your pay is what you do during the day. You come with me from 6 to 9, and I'm going to train you. And back then, there was no laptops. There really was no computer, so it was back of the napkin type of thing.
Fax machine, pager.
Calculating DTI at a restaurant, back of the napkin, division, multiplication. And
The good ones still do that.
that year passed, and he gave me a check for $25,000 at the end of the year. And he says, now you can quit your job. And I said, Tony, I'm not quitting my job. Let me just do both. No. I've been saving up money. You've been helping me out with certain deals. And I lived at home with mom. I was 19. Gave me a $25,000 check. I quit my job, and I never looked back. It was one of the best ways that I was mentored because I didn't chase the money. I was chasing the education. So and Tony's retired now. He lives in Marathon, Florida. And I still speak to him. He's one of my mentors. Apart from that, I think if you're in this business, the main ingredient is loving people. You gotta like people. I'm not saying you like all people, but you gotta have that empathy, right? You gotta see through the eyes of another and feel through the heart of another. And I think that's what keeps me going in this up and down business. You know, I stuck it through 2008. My wife kept me in the business. I almost became a firefighter in 2008. And my wife's like, are you nuts? You've been doing this for 10 years already. Absolutely not. Go all in, step on the gas. Everyone's always gonna need a home. So my wife kept me in it. She's a stay-home mom, so she allows me to work 9 to 9 Monday through Friday, Monday through Sunday, and that's my journey. And I absolutely still love what I do. I still sharpen up my skills. I'm always learning. Even though I got all these years under my belt. I see a guy like this, and I'm like, look at that.
Step it up.
Right? Does it really matter? You've been doing it for 20 years? No, Mike, it doesn't. It doesn't really matter. It's really all about mindset and how you wake up every morning, and just again sharpening your skills. In regards to real estate, I own rooming houses. I'm up to 105 rooms. I've been buying rooming houses since 2017, and I only buy them where I grew up. I'm from the Newark, Elizabeth area, and it's probably one of the ugliest, apart from industrial real estate, it's probably one of the ugliest real estate to own because it's one step above homeless, right? A lot of poverty when it comes down to
A lot of cash, though.
a lot of cash, a lot of liability, a lot of heavy lifting and managing the properties, right? Because it's 105 characters within 6 homes. So each one of my houses have about 20, 25 rooms, right? And they're all legal rooming houses. There's a lot of illegal rooming houses. These are legal rooming houses. They're licensed through the state. So that's kind of my journey with real estate. One thing that I've learned the hard way with real estate is I don't ever buy real estate by myself. And I know that goes against a lot of old timers sometimes and even new. I love buying real estate with partnerships because all the responsibility does not fall on me. I would not be able to own 105 rooms if I owned them by myself and running a mortgage company. So, and just to rewind, I'm a partner with MLB Residential Lending. I've been a partner there for about 4 years. And recently, I'm opening up my own mortgage brokerage. So I'm really happy about that. After 23 years in the business, I'm going on my own boutique shop.
It's the future of lending.
It is the future. It's
For people with business, at
nothing
least.
against correspondent lending or banking, but in my opinion, in my humble opinion, being a broker is kind of the most transparent way of doing business because everything's in black and white on that HUD, on that seat.
Can't hide.
Can't hide. Yeah, we won't make those huge spreads, but that's okay because the consumer ends up, getting the benefit of it. And I think what keeps me going is one thing is just relationships. I think relationships are our most valuable currency, and that's how I keep going, meeting new people, man, and staying ahead of the curve. So.
My longtime Facebook friend.
Yes.
You got the floor. Nice to finally meet you in person.
Yes, nice to meet you in person.
Am I what you expected or no?
Well, you make videos on Facebook.
No, some people have the wrong interpretation that don't know me,
We've stayed friends on Facebook because you have controversial posts, just like I have controversial.
Oh, so you like my controversy?
Yes, I like that because it
It's strategic.
That's number one. It stirs the pot. People start commenting, whether you like it or you love it. You are commenting, and I think that that's the way that I approach social media because it's my point of view. It's my post. If you like it, you like it.
Yeah, it's my page. Yeah.
It's how I
Yep.
think. If you don't like it, and I feel like that's a good way to find who you connect with. So I like that you stand your ground on what you believe in, even some of the posts I don't agree.
Yeah, we've gone at it a
It's
couple
still-
times.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's still about the fact.
So we're sitting on the opposite side of the table. Next time you'll be next to me.
It's still the fact that you're firm on what you believe in and not in a disrespectful way, in a way that you're sure of what you believe in.
I appreciate
That's
it.
why we stayed friends. This is the first time we met in person. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, thanks for coming.
Maxine Till, licensed real estate agent. I specialize in the Bronx, born and raised in the Bronx, licensed in all of New York State, of course. What has kept me motivated? In the beginning, I've been licensed for this is year 9 now. Actually, in June it will be year 9. In the beginning of my real estate career, it was always part-time, but I've always had the mindset that I was full-time real estate, part-time waitress. So I did waitress, hosting, bartending, all the front of house in the restaurant industry. For me, my mindset was always, I'm going to absorb real estate because I know it's going to change my life. So that was in the beginning of my career. It was real estate's going to change your life. I grew up in the South Bronx, so it was a lot of
Where about?
property.
What street?
156 in Cortland. So really, really South Bronx.
First house I ever bought was on Prospect, way down.
Very, very
yeah.
South Bronx.
Yeah.
People are South Bronx is not.
Yeah.
That's not where I grew up at.
Yeah. Like the Bronx is burning.
Where I grew up at is not what it is now.
Yep.
It's not the buildings and beautiful. It wasn't that. So for me, real estate was my way out. And the beginning of my career, it really was just that, this is gonna be your way out, figure it out. And I think that was a motivating factor for me. Now I know that it's not just my way out. It is also my family's way out. It is my community's way out. So I'm very passionate about approaching real estate from a financial literacy point of view, because it's my goal is not to help you get a house and lose it to foreclosure within 3 years because you got in and now you're house rich and cash poor. Right. So I do a lot of, I took a break because I need to just refocus, but I did a lot of Money Tip Monday videos on Instagram, 1 minute reels where it's just this is what I learned on my financial literacy journey. Here's the seed. Go do your research, right? I'm not a licensed financial advisor. I'm not advising you on what stocks to buy.
So we got billed for.
Exactly, right? You have your professionals. However, where I grew up at, no one had those conversations. Not even a little bit. We didn't talk about money. If we had money, we wasn't prioritizing the right things to buy. So for me, it's just I make those videos because this is what I've learned on my journey. You guys can use it and take it and be better, right? After you have that knowledge, financial literacy, then we can talk about your 3 to 5 year plan on buying a home, right? Then we can talk about that. And if you own a home or grandma owns a home, let's talk about how we can use the equity in that property to benefit everyone that's renting 4 different places, right? Maybe you guys can use the equity from that property to buy a 4-family and everybody's in one, and you're not only renting for someone else, you're building equity in your own. So for me, yeah, exactly. So for me, real estate, I think now I've become more mature in real estate, and it wasn't just about it's your way out, you're gonna get rich from real estate, because that's how they lured me into real estate, telling me I was gonna be a millionaire the first year.
False promises.
I thought the license card was a black Amex card. Yeah.
So that's what we have Greg Morgan for. He's got one of those.
Okay.
Use that.
Relationships, right? That's why I'm here too, because I feel before, I'm an introvert, so this is out of my house, and I think before the pandemic, I started to build the muscle of going to networking events and building relationships, and then the pandemic happened and I really haven't done any of them in a really long time. So this is me saying that 2024 is definitely the year that you're getting back out there, you're shaking hands, and you're building that muscle again, because definitely got weak from like 2020.
Yeah, we all did. Everyone isolated.
Yeah, so yeah, thank you.
Well, we're
Thanks
glad
for
you're
coming.
here. I'm Mike,
Thank
by
you.
the way.
Maxine. I wanted to say Mike's card says making lives better,
I love
and
that.
honestly,
Yeah, that's fine.
I love that. I really love that.
Mr. Cowan, you're up.
I thought it was baseball.
So I'm Scott Cowan. I'm a licensed
That's what I
agent,
thought.
real estate agent in New Jersey and New York. I'm going to have my broker's license, I think, in a week in Florida.
Oh, nice.
I was in the diamond business in New York for 25 years. When the financial markets in 2008 collapsed, I transitioned to the pawn business, P-A-W-N, not and
Sorry, Gabe, got you excited over there.
got me excited. Then that went well until my house at the beach in Ocean County got destroyed by Hurricane Sandy, and I moved down to the shore, opened up a consulting construction firm. I built or elevated 100 houses in 2.5 years, ran into some legal and business obstacles, which I can elaborate on later, but I ended up taking my experience as a builder, as a tenant, as a businessman, and I find that's been the value that I'm able to add to my customers' transactions, whether it's fix and flips or commercial. And I've always tried to use my experience to be successful, and I've also learned it's beneficial to surround yourself with smart people, youthful people that have different perspectives. I appreciate Jeff for inviting me here. As he said, he's my son and Jeff played football together at Fordham.
Your son played. I sat on the sidelines.
He sat on the sidelines too.
Yeah, together. Yeah, he played a little bit.
He had the
hurt. He was always hurt.
he had all the injuries, but they're all still good buddies
dressed
with
for
a core group of guys that have watched them all become very successful. So, it was more than drinking and philandering.
That's for sure.
It turned into a business success. So, thanks for having me.
No, I appreciate you coming. Absolutely. Scott was actually a client back in the day too. Remember way back when Scott skips into your mortgage back way back when.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Mr. Moore.
Well, it was morning. Good morning, everyone. First, I want to start with say, Jeff, thank you for inviting me to this table amongst the great individuals that's here. Many of y'all probably have met before at the last outing that you had on the roof. But my name is Andrew Moore. I'm a licensed real estate advisor with Daniel Gale Sotheby's International Realty. I've been with the firm for the last 9 years, licensed for the last 11. I met Jeff actually my first year.
2014? 15?
Before that, I think it was
13?
13, 12.
Through Akiba and Karan.
Back then when we had a townhouse in, I believe that was Crown Heights, or I can't remember. It was a nice, fully renovated townhouse that we were selling at the time. But long story short, give a little bit of background about myself. I am, graduated, played basketball, had opportunity to work for the NBA for a number of years, and then transitioned into public education, where I was administrator, simultaneously doing real estate. My ventures with that, and also me and my wife, who is now a VP at TV1, we always surrounded by a lot of high-end profile individuals, and 9 out of 10 times I usually get asked a lot, do you have a rental, do you have an apartment, do you have a house? And eventually after a while, me referring it out, I realized I could just do this myself. Then after me and my wife, we had our first child, I realized that, I needed more of the flexibility. So throughout the time period of working simultaneously as a education administrator and also doing real estate, I realized, within the last 5 years going into this full time. Since then, from the start till now, I've sold over 50 million in real estate and continuing. And I'm licensed, I'm duty licensed as well now. I actually live upstate near Woodbury, so this was the reason why I came a little late. But being able to be duly licensed, I have a team of 3. Gives me the opportunity and flexibility to expand my wings from as far as the Hamptons all the way up to upstate New York. And being able to count on Jeff in those dire needs when other banks fail and he comes through is the reason why I found a benefit of having him as a partner moving forward. And also bringing along a good friend, Saisha, which I can still remember that text that she sent me asking about real estate, and she's been tremendous. She'll tell you about herself as well out in Jersey. But other than that, if you're looking for anything in residential sales, commercial, I'm that go-to guy. I have a saying. I say I'm the most coolest cat you'll find in the room, because I don't look to have that pressure sales tactic. I'm the type of person that you could look to see that he's confident in himself and is confident in his business and confident knowing that you'll get the job done. So that's what I look forward to, my forte, and has worked for me. And I'm hoping to be able to collaborate with some of you guys in the future. Thank you.
Hello everyone, good morning. My name is Sha'Asia Jerez. I'm a realtor in the state of New Jersey. I mainly service Essex County, but I go as far as Hamilton, wherever my clients would like to go. I guess my story is I was born in Brooklyn, came from a one-bedroom apartment with my mother, but I definitely experienced my mom purchasing a home in Connecticut. It was too boring for her. Then she went to Jersey, so I was in Jersey City for a while. What mainly, I guess, pushed me to get into real estate is 2008. Found out, just in hearing her conversations with the bank, she had an arm length mortgage, and then the interest rate skyrocketed and our house went in foreclosure. At the time I was living in a house mainly all my life, right? So we was thinking about what's next, what I'm gonna do, and I'm like, I don't think I want to rent, right? I'm too bougie to rent because I've been living in a house all my life practically. And I was seeing a change around Jersey City at the time. There's the new builds, the same houses, two families that looks alike, they're turning into condos. And I'm like, I want to be a part of that. So definitely got educated, definitely wanted to help. Definitely my people not get into foreclosure, more educated, and also get into home ownership, because that's what we are lacking. So I guess what is keeping me successful is remaining studious, being humble, and being nice, right? Not, oh my God, I've been in real estate this many years, who are you, having that nice conversation. And I have experienced the referrals coming back just by being nice and just being studious. So that's my story, and I'm just hoping to connect with you all. And Jeff, yes.
Another star, shining star.
Thank you. I appreciate it. But Jeff, thank you so much for this.
Thank you. You got it.
What's up, guys?
Second young. How old are you?
I'm the youngest.
20. You're still the youngest. You guys can fight it out after, but go ahead.
Got you by a year.
Gabriel, whatever you guys prefer or choose, doesn't matter.
You send them a deal, you can call whenever you want.
I'm a loan officer with Madison Mortgage. I've been in the business since August of 2020. I came from a background of door-to-door sales, B2C, so if you ever walked around with BJ's or Costco and saw the DirecTV guys and the guys asking you about your windows, roof siding, I did that. I ran an office down south for a while for AT&T and DirecTV to train sales guys to do that. That was cool, but after COVID, that kind of shut.
Weren't you a club promoter too, a little bit?
I did do that.
Why'd you leave that out? What are we doing? This is like a table of transparency. No, you haven't been anything but transparent yet.
I was a club promoter for 10 years.
Where?
What clubs?
Yeah, that's the most interesting part.
Yeah.
I started doing that when I was like 13, 14.
13? You can't even get
That's why I
into
leave
a
it out. It was you guys remember teen nights back in the day?
Yes.
Yeah. Club and things like that.
Abyss.
Dude, we were your clientele. What do you mean?
Casa Dimitri, man. I've been there a couple of times.
I did that for 10, 15 years. Teen nights. Worked my way to 18 overs, 21 overs. That was all fun. But while I was doing that, I had a part-time job and all that stuff. But once COVID came around, I didn't want to be in the retail space anymore, in the door-to-door space. It sucks. I hated it. Even though you got to burn a lot of calories, you got a nice tan in summer, it still sucked. I ended up calling my cousin who owns my brokerage and said, hey, I think I'm ready. He's been trying to recruit me for the last 5 years. So I said, all right, it's my time. I'm ready to get in. So I got in and I never looked back. I think what keeps me going is I didn't come for money. The money aspect is definitely one thing. I love being able to problem solve. I love the aspect. I hate when I get really clean files because it's just it's boring. All right, I love the tough files. I love like being able to problem solve. Huh?
We want clean.
We love clean. Don't get me
Realtors
wrong.
like clean files.
But every now and
do.
then I need like, you know, a brain buster, something that really gets me thinking, makes the day fun, keeps the job going. And another thing that kept me going through it after 2022, I connected with Jeff. I was feeling real down too. Like that last half of 2022 was really fucking hard. Right? We all felt it coming off of, you know, deal appraisal waivers, everything was passing. You know, deals were just easy. Everybody was getting loans, right? You were closing deals left and right. And in the last 6 months of 2022, I really felt it there. I connected with Jeff around that time. That was kind of like when we linked up, and he kind of like put the life right back into me about the business, because I didn't really have a mentor. You know, after I went on my own, after I left the loan officer I was working with in the company, I went on my own, and I didn't have that guidance. And I connected with him, and his perspective on the business and how to approach it as a loan officer was something that, like, that's the way I wanted to do business, right? Like I don't want to do business with everybody. I don't want to feel like I have to reach out to every single realtor and try to get their business, right? I want to work with really great fucking people. I want to work with people that are good and respectful and respect your time as well. So thank you, Jeff, for that. That was awesome.
Yeah, I think one thing I've always admired about Gabe is he's a decade younger than me, right? And I remember, you know, thinking to myself, like, these people who came into the business in 2020 don't really know the business, you know? They know what they know about the business, and that's all you know. Like, it's gonna be a humbling, depressing time, like, if you don't shift. And I reached out to him, and I gave him some, like, stupid offer, like, dude, I'll coach you for, like, $500 for, like, 20 sessions. It was like, I don't even want to do this, but I want to help him, you know? And one thing I always admired about him was his image and his, like, passion for the business, you know? And, like, you can't replicate that. It wasn't about the money and coaching. It was about, like, I see something in you, and I see you kind of heading down the wrong direction, right? And with a little bit of guidance, and I think I kicked your ass for a couple of days. I know we had some heated conversations, you know, but I got you out of your comfort zone, right? And, like, I think that's all some people need is, like, there's a bridge. There's two sides of the bridge. Who's building that bridge to the other side? And that could take a one comment. If I hit you where it stings, it's going to be, you know, very quickly for you to get to the other side of the bridge. And that's really what he needed, was just, like, that guidance. And I think, you're having a pretty monster year, no?
24 million, 53 years.
Yeah, and again, like, you know, from coming out of that 2020, you know, most people's business is off 60 to 80%. You know, he's actually on pace to do a lateral year. So, you know, we even gave him our own flip. You know, Max funded the deal, and we gave the buyer because he deserved it. And I admired him, and I wanted him to show, like, look, yeah, you might be the #1 spender on advertising space on reverifi. That helps, but I'm going to show you, like, you invest what we do, we're going to make you back tenfold. And, you know, you deserved it, you earned it, and hopefully everything goes smoothly.
And just like Rachel said, like, just saying yes to everything. Like, I get cold calls on the phone, and I'm sitting there for 5 minutes talking to someone, like, curious about what they have to say, right? Because you never know who's on the
Well,
other
it's
side.
because of
right.
what you did before.
That too.
And I have to say, I'm always nice to those Costco and BJ guys, because I'm always like, oh, thanks, but I don't need new windows. You know?
Exactly. And I end up always saying yes to them. But, yeah, I don't even fucking need this much.
Just sign up.
You might one day, you never know.
Well, you never know. And
commission, right?
saying
Like,
yes,
sign
you know,
up.
led me to that opportunity with Jeff, even though, we knew each other through Facebook, and yeah, that's my story.
Gabe is definitely wise beyond his years too.
And he cares.
You know, he comes off as nice, and he genuinely is, you know, nice. So good to work with somebody that's, you know, follows up and is nice, and you know, and likes to and gets the problem solved. So
I can attest to that.
Will?
Thank you.
Good morning, guys. My name is Will Helfrich. I'm with United Real Estate out of Bergen County. I started my real estate career back in 2002, graduated from Hofstra, and I worked in the mortgage business all the way up until the crash. Left after the crash. I was working for brokers, bankers. I wound up transitioning into a completely different business. I worked and helped to start an energy consulting business in the city. So started off, we sold it. 2015 came around, and I wanted to get back into real estate. My partners from the mortgage business now moved back to New Jersey. They're wholesaling, they're fixing flipping houses, mostly in Essex County. So I got involved with them as a project manager, learning business. They had no real estate agent on their team. So I said, why don't I get my license, and I'll be the real estate agent for the group and help put these projects to the finish line. A lot of projects were just going down the tubes. So got my license in 2017. Worked with that group. It was great for 3 years. All fix and flip business. About 20 to 30 houses per year with that small group. And 2020 came around. Everything changed, right? My motivation at that time was to get back to what I knew, was networking, getting involved with high power groups, networking groups. Personally, I also needed a whole new revamp. Mentally, physically, I got into CrossFit, changed my life, and over the last 3 years, I've been working on building my sphere of influence, working with networking referral groups. So I met Jeff online. I know Anthony Pizzello through one group, Lawrence through another group. So my goal over these, going forward is to continue working and giving and getting referrals, because this business has gotten tighter, it's gotten harder, and growing my sphere of influence to make this a prosperous 2020.
Despite what anyone might think, the next up is probably still to this day the fastest human being in this room. Doesn't look it, but former NFL prospect.
I am not running anymore. Jermaine Pugh, thanks Jeff. Jermaine Pugh with Matthews Real Estate. I sell commercial real estate here in Brooklyn and Manhattan. How do I know Jeff? Jeff and I went to the same high school.
You were much older though.
I was not much.
Put it like this, he wasn't in high school when I was in like middle school, so older.
So I was older, but kind of the same pedigree and process, going to the Martin. And then I went to playing football at Lehigh, graduating, moving out, and went into commercial insurance at first and built insured buildings much like we're in right today. A lot of hotels, a lot of office buildings. And then I made the transfer into selling commercial real estate. And it didn't happen by accident. I always wanted to be around it because I was always insuring it. But at the firm I was at, I referred one of my clients, one of the brokers there. They made like a $400,000 commission selling an office building in Midtown.
Eye opener.
Yeah, and he gave me a $5,000 referral.
You're like wowzers.
I had no license at the time. So I realized then I was in the wrong business. So I convinced the president of GFI Insurance and Realty, gave me a hybrid role where I managed my insurance book, took a piece of the commission, but then I also spent 2 years on a contract with them learning the ins and outs of being an investment sales broker. Cap rates and everything you need to officially underwrite properties here in Manhattan. Left them after my time was up there. I've been there for 9 years. It wasn't an issue with the firm, just needed to grow. So then I went to a company like Eastern Consolidated. And that's when I really got into selling multifamily development sites and mixed-use product in central Brooklyn. And then I was blessed enough to go join Paul Massey in B6. And I don't know if anyone in the room knows Massey Knackle, Bob Knackle, and Paul Massey. They created a company called Massey Knackle that revolutionized the middle market in Manhattan and Brooklyn and the boroughs. That $2 million to $50 million space. They sold more deals in 14 years than any brokerage. And then in 2014, they sold to Cushman & Wakefield.
For a lot, how much?
100 million.
100 million. Damn.
So I was blessed enough that these men taught me how to sell real estate in Manhattan and Brooklyn. So move on to 6 months ago, my team and I were approached by Matthews Real Estate. There was some turmoil at B6. It's in the paper, so we can get on it, but we can read it. Google it. If you Google it. So it was the best decision for our team to leave. So we're at Matthews now, largest privately held national firm, 600 agents, 20 offices, and we're tasked with opening up their New York office, which has been great so far. Our team, it's good to keep us together. Over the last 10 years together, done 400 deals in central Brooklyn for about $2 billion in aggregate. So we have a good space that we work in, and we know it very well. What keeps me motivated in this market is I believe there's something good right now, but because of how hard it is to do deals, if you refine your processes now, when you come out of this, you will be great. You will absolutely be great. Because it's making us work. I mean, you said it before, it was easy to sell. It was easy to get things closed a couple of years ago. And I remember leading up into 2016, it was really easy to get things done too. That market took off. But then COVID came, we've had all these little blips, and a lot of people are getting out of the business because it's hard now. But if you stick the course and you work hard and keep your process and systems in place, we will come out of this thing and we will be the ones standing here winners. So that keeps motivated to really, you know, create something great at our new shop.
He'll be doing an autograph signing session after for anybody that was interested in a washed-up high school athlete. We'll both be down.
Thank you, Jeff.
Now, his high school career was more illustrious. Right?
Yeah, way more most of my college career.
I don't know. I thought you ran for, you know, 600-700 yards in Lehigh. My research on you.
I had 1,000 yards here.
Mark can only go 3 digits. Anything over that, you don't know.
It was a great experience. You know, that is the biggest thing I took out of that was playing college football was great, but it taught me a lot of things I use now in my career. Getting up early, working out, staying, having a process every day. Someone said it before, like, you gotta be consistent, you gotta have a process every day. And if you keep doing it over time, it won't happen the first day, second day, third day, but 100 days out, you start seeing a little bit of progress. And then you look 10 years forward, you're standing at a place where not most people are at.
You guys still bargain?
Yeah.
My son's going.
Oh, is he? Oh, congratulations.
Mountain Hawks Hall of Fame.
Yeah, right.
Love it.
So now we have my consigliere, Joseph Rodriguez from Staten Island.
Good morning. I'm Joe Rodriguez, Staten Island, New York. I'm the broker owner of Truman's Realty Group. I'm going to be quick because I'm the last one, and I'm sure everyone's tired of listening. And as Jeff will tell you, I'm usually the guy with the least words to say. So I'll just tell you real quick about me. I like the tough deals. I like the shitty deals that no one get done. This property has tenants, they're not paying, give it to me. I will get it done, I will get them out. And what are my things that keep me going? A, it's making myself better. B, making the people around me better so we all go together. And C, I have 2 young boys, they're 12 and 10, and today's generation, I feel they don't have the ethic, and they need to see dad put the cape on every day and make the magic happen. If not, they'll be playing Xbox for the rest of their lives. And that's really what keeps me going, day in and day out.
What made you open up your own brokerage?
Just having a conversation with Jermaine earlier this morning. It was time to control my destiny. You know, I went from brokerage to brokerage throughout the years, and some really good brokerages. But at the end of the day, I gotta know where I'm going with my career, and I can't let anyone decide that but myself. So I went. You know, I have about maybe a dozen agents. We're not huge, but I control the ship, and to me, that's the most important thing.
You know what? Joe likes tough deals. What did Joe do before he was a real estate agent?
Who invited me? It wasn't me. I don't know.
Everywhere we go.
We're gonna curb that. Tarda, fashionably late. Let's stop that there.
I want to know now.
Mystery. Chalked up.
So I'm a retailed captain from Department of Correction on Rikers Island.
Oh, wow. A lot of controversy.
He hides it well.
Yeah. You've seen some geographics.
That's what you're going to remember. Not that he's, great in Staten Island real estate agent. You remember that guy was, cracking heads in the fucking jail. That's the guy I want to hire.
Mr. Tarda?
What's up, everybody? Chris Tarda from Bergen County. I have a small team in really it's the top half of New Jersey that we work in, from Monmouth Ocean up to Bergen, a little bit of Rockland County. I transitioned to real estate from restaurant business. I'm a chef. I was in the restaurant business for 20 years, so I kind of took the hospitality aspect and brought it to real estate. Surrounded by real estate deals in my family. My father's an attorney he was really a real estate attorney for years, no more. I'm here just to grow. My business was 90% residential for the last 4 or 5 years. We're kind of organically transitioning into commercial deals. I'm having opportunities pop up, so I've connected with Jeff for a couple of years. We've talked about this stuff, and I'm just here to network and grow. And the things that keep me going are, now it's challenging, so we're kind of back to our roots. We're doing a lot of prospecting, a lot of in-office meetings, back to people being together and hunting for business, which is, to me, is exciting. I like being out there, meeting people and trying to make things happen. That's it.
So does anybody want to have any questions or have any thoughts? Do you want to add anything to that? Max was nice enough to actually sponsor today's event for everybody. So if you guys can get all Max's information, send them deals. You could send them to me. I could give them to Max anyway. You can go to Max direct. He's also a big referral source. Bill's a big referral source. Like, at the end of the day, your streams of referrals have to be expanded in what's going on in this market now, right? So like I guarantee every person in this room has somebody they can refer to somebody in this room right now, and that's the main focus of this. The main focus of Reverify is, shit, I need somebody in the Bronx. Let me go on Reverify, see who's in the Bronx. Hey, I need somebody down the Jersey Shore. Here's the Jersey Shore. Hey, I met this girl from Harlem. You know, what's her information? Like usually I've been the nucleus of that, right? Because everyone knows I've done business everywhere. So there's enough business for everybody to go around, but the key is, like people said earlier, it's the quality of business. You know, like Gabe doesn't want to be calling 100 people to have 100 people slam the door in his face. Like, call 10 people, get 8 deals. And that's always been my motto. You know, one thing about Mark Lawrence that I called him up the other night, I said, does anybody not like you? And he's like, no, you know? I was like, I don't think I have a problem with anybody, right? That's kind of the conversation we had.
We could dig something out.
Yeah, but you know, like I admire that. You know, like I think it's so easy. It's so easy in this business not to be nice, right? Not to be smiling, to be a real prick, right? It's so easy to do that because we're all under a lot of pressure. We all want to close deals. We all want to make money. We want to take time with our kids, our family, and everything else. Like one thing I've learned is, from my past 5 years of being a dad and going through chaos, is like the fight is outside of the house, right? So when you take that fight and you come home and there's a fight inside of your house, like what do you have to fall back on? I know a lot of people have that fight inside of their home for many good reasons. I'm sure some people have been divorced, separated, whatever. But we want Reverify and what we're building here to be like that safe place to come here. You could be in a fight with your spouse, you come here, like get away from that. Your kids could be busting your balls, like my son does every second. He's FaceTiming me every second, so I don't even know why he's not in school today. Like, I want to be able to come here and like let my hair down, be comfortable, and be around just good freaking people, because like you need to pick that fuel up. Sometimes home's gonna suck, come out and do this. Sometimes this is gonna suck, go home and have that be your safe place. So if we could provide that from everybody and just grow organically, like that's what our main mission and focus is. Like I said, I've been fortunate enough to close a deal almost with every single person in this room. Now I want you guys to be able to do that. So
can I say something? So I love group chats. I really do. Like I have family group chats, and my family lives everywhere. No, so it's really what keeps us very close. So it's coming here today. I was like, I feel like I'm on a family group chat. Like usually professional group chats bore the hell out of me. And
we know I'm not boring.
The first one to be like, leave room. But I'm like, oh, this is a fun little crowd. It's cute. So
listen, I think that's so important, right? Like, everyone wants to be so stiff and stuffy and professional. Like, look, you're not gonna have the best rate. You're not gonna sell the house for most amount of money. You're not gonna have the best deal. But if you know the person on the other side of the deal, like that's what's more important. Like as I'm sitting here talking to Scott, he's like, oh, I have a buyer and this. I'm like, oh, my trainer wants to sell a house. He's gonna list his property, but if you have a buyer and you can do a deal off market, like go make yourself 30, 40 grand, right? Like why not do that? And like the more you're around people, the more you're gonna walk into a deal, you know?
Jeff, can you explain Reverify and how it's working and what your vision is? Because I don't really know.
Yeah, so that's a good question. When I started, I didn't even know what the vision was. It was very simple in March of 2020 of like, there's no transparent way to track offers. Like you're relying on the listing agent to present an offer to a seller. My forecast was transactions are going to slow down, desperation is going to kick in, and transparency is actually going to be the opposite, right, of what happens. Obviously, I'm sure you submitted offers for buyers that you're like wondering, did my offer even get presented to the seller? Yeah. So I was told in March of 2020, before COVID even happened, that I would need to spend $40,000 on bringing this like MVP, very basic product to the market. And we're like $600,000 in 3.5 years later. So the vision's expanded as COVID changed the market, as people changed, as the consumers changed, as the buyers changed, and as technologies helped to try and take over our industry. One thing I always realized was there was always a barrier between realtor and mortgage person, right? There was always a barrier of entry for the new realtor to get business or leads from a Zillow because of the price point and the lack of experience. So what Reverify really is a community. It's a community of good people that want to do business based on trust and transparency. So it gives you the ability to generate cash flow as an agent by selling your ad space to lenders as your exclusive listing. You could put a couple $100s in your pocket and form a relationship. It generates deal flow. The amount of money we spend on digital marketing, strategic digital marketing, is generating leads for both the listing agent, organically, just anybody on the platform, and the lender. And then at the end of the day, we're giving connections and we're giving access. And I believe that in this market, like you guys are 10 miles from each other, and you guys have never met before, and both of you do business, you know? So it's bringing people together. So think of it as like an exclusive member community nationally, where people can pass referrals, get referrals, stand out, and be the leader. Forward looking of reverifi, you know, we're already in like 35 plus states. We're in the process of finalizing our final technology component, where we really do want to perfect everything from listing offer to digital closing. And that's what we see the future is. Like, if anyone's ever played online poker, like our transaction table is set up where when you have your transaction, whether you run the deal through reverifi or not, you can communicate with all parties in one central location, assign tasks, and really improve efficiency and communication and transparency to free up more time to have a quality of life or to be able to go out there and do more deals. You know, I think the industry has been lacking that one central location for people to do business. And it's really lacked the ability to have really good people all in one segment of the market. Someone's faxing, someone's emailing, someone's calling, someone's text messaging. You know, the attorney calls, the agent calls, the lender calls. No one's really working in that locker room mentality. You know, so I believe that bringing that locker room mentality of like unity and like having that family dynamic of like family group chat is what we need to do to make money in this business today. Everyone's looking to take you out, undercut you. So we've built the platform around the professional and implemented and built out and spent a lot of money on the technology to enhance your business and to enhance you as the professional, right? Everyone else is trying to have technology replace you or eliminate you. We're actually using it to fuel you guys. So you know, that's our mission, that's our motto. You're going to see a lot more changes coming up over the next 90 days, 120 days. Greg's a very small minority owner of reverifi. I'm happy to disclose that. Small piece, which he earned. But look, we want people that want to do business the right way. And my biggest thing is giving back. Guy I hired as like a business coach / therapist. It's actually in my, you know Rick Ross by any chance?
Seems familiar.
He knows that rapper. He's the white version.
Second cousin.
You know, great guy. And when he said in one of his interviews, he's like, you know, everyone asked like, what's love? What's love? What's love? And his answer was very clear. Like, love is the ability to feel that what you're putting out, you're getting back for the bigger picture. So like, if you think about reverifi, we're putting a lot out. I have a lot of my eggs invested in it, and I hope to get back half of what I put into it because it's a very speculative investment that we've made, that I've made. And I've taken a lot on, I've sacrificed a lot, and I think it's really for the betterment of the entire industry and especially my network.
So it seems like, unless I missed it, a component that appears to be missing at this table is an attorney. And I made a comment once to an attorney that I spent a good portion of my day managing attorneys.
Oh, I do. I'm doing it right now. Forget about it.
And the guy went ballistic
Yeah.
at me. How dare you say that? But that's the truth.
Yep.
So if there was this platform, then the attorneys, and I have a couple good ones that I could bring in.
Yeah.
And I'm a partner in the title company. I didn't hear anybody really bring that up.
Yep.
So again, everybody kind of feels like they're running the transaction, but nobody really is.
Bingo. So remember I had my brand, The Mortgage Quarterback, right? And so my original brand from 2008 was The Closer. I used to advertise my face with Mariano Rivera, right? I'm closer. I'm closing deals. I'm the closer, right? And then as the market,
You got a cease and desist?
I got a couple of those in the past 15 years. But Scott, to answer your question, so I felt the consumer shift. When Zillow came out in 2011, 2012 and really started making noise, the consumer became the expert and the professional. And we were just here as like, I don't know, like their Uber driver maybe, or whatever you want to call them. So before Uber was even a real thing. So I'm like, well, I'm not really, I can still be the closer. I can be the closer at any time. Like you can't take my knowledge and experience and relationships and network away from me. But the consumer doesn't need a closer anymore. Anyone can close a deal. There's plenty of quality mortgage people in the game. I need to be their quarterback. I need to tell them, use this agent, don't buy this house, lock in your interest rate. So I became more of like the hard-nosed, I'm gonna crush, to I'm gonna have a more passive approach to kind of like make sure everyone's in the right place at the right time so everyone can score. That's what I figured people needed, right? So like,
Confused me when you did that, by the way.
I confuse a lot of people. I still get those confused texts, you know?
So what did you say?
I said he confused me when he switched gears like that. I'm like, wait, do I still call you when I need a mortgage? I don't know what's going on here.
I could attest to that because he's not a lender, he's not a realtor, he's a consultant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what.
So Scott, I saw the industry shifting from the ability with online, digital, real estate brokerages, lenders, cutting our earnings and our salary, right? It wasn't about, hey, I'll close your deal and make a point, make 2 points, make whatever. It was who's giving me the best rate with the lowest fees. I'm gonna shop you to 15 people. I'm like, dude, you're taking all my value away from me. Like, I could get you that low, but then I'm not gonna make any money, but I have 15 years of experience or 10 years of experience that can close your deal, right? So that's why I got away from like dealing with the consumer on that level and handling the more complex transactions that need to be structured, or hey, what could I do with this, right? I have
Deals don't die too. It's like whenever you're working with like other brokers or like an individual borrower, like they'll run into an issue, the deal will die. Like Jeff, uses his network and solves it.
part of when, look, when my ankle broke, it was like the death of the mortgage quarterback, right? I couldn't be myself anymore. I had a newborn son crying. I had personal crap going on, business crap going on. I was invested in multiple companies and partners, and I'm like, I just can't handle this. I'm gonna have a breakdown, right? So I purposely like separated myself. Listen, my phone still rings 50 times a day from people that I haven't even talked to. Forget about it, right? And I couldn't handle it. So I had to reinvent myself, and that's been part of probably the most humbling experience from COVID. Is I was always the youngest guy in the room at 30, 31. My ankle broke, 2019 happened, I took a year off. I was ready to get back and crush in 2020. COVID happened. Now I come out and I'm like the oldest guy, one of the older guys in the room, So, relatively speaking, from always being the youngest guy in the room. But it taught me like a whole another level of like personal growth and development. I think part of being in the real estate and mortgage business, people attribute personal growth to how much money you made this year over last year, right? Maybe because you have business experience, maybe not you. But you probably still say, listen, I made 400 grand last year. I want to make 600 grand this year. I'm sure you're still competitive. I was saying, all right, I closed 30 million. I closed 40 million when I was 24, 25. I really don't want to close 50 million because I know what I have to sacrifice to do that. And I've missed out on a decade of my life of living, building this business that's a well-oiled machine. So I said, well, how can I challenge myself? How can I grow? Private mortgages, right? Commercial mortgages, hard money, non-QM, institutional financing, like bigger deals where I need to challenge myself, like Gabe said, where it's not about, oh, what's your credit score, what's your DTI, do you fit the Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHA box? Anybody can do that with half a brain, and the computer does 90% of the work today. So that's really not my value. I know I bring value, but no one's willing to pay me my value because anybody can do it, and anybody can do it for less. That's the reality of it. Whereas in the space that I dabble in as like the advisor and consultant now, like people will stroke me a $25,000 check just to look at what they have. Right? Whereas it's like, I don't want to pay you $1,200. I'm like, what? You want me to work for you for 60 days to make $1,200 to get taxed, to make $800? Like, listen, I'll do it for free for you. You know what I mean? Right. Like, it's not about that. It's a matter of like the moment I felt the consumer or the market or the network devalued my experience and knowledge, I knew I outgrew that sandbox, like humbly. And don't forget, I also started full time when I was 21, right? And started in 2008, lived through scenarios in the South Bronx where, I can tell you stories, like just crazy stories. I still deal with a lot of that crap, So I felt like myself, I needed more. And the only way to push yourself by more is, leaving what you knew or what I knew and teaching myself a whole nother way. And then you add the technology component and running reverifi on top of it. Like I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off. I didn't go to school to run a technology company. So it's really been a humbling experience. It's really been a challenging experience. And I think now like the path is clear to figure out what everyone has the capability of doing next, but not getting caught up in that transaction mindset. Doesn't matter whether you do 60 deals a year or 200 deals a year. If you're not happy, or you don't have the quality of life, or you're not enjoying the people that mean most to you, one day, like I said, when my friend had that stroke at 83, it opened up my eyes. Guy's got probably $100 million sitting in his checking account, can't read, can't write, can't speak, he's laid up in bed. Like, what's that really worth, right? So like, not only did that put that in perspective to me, it made me realize like my real passion is being around really good people. So reverifi is still up and coming, it's still growing. Yeah, we're on the map. We're in the middle of a multi-7-figure capital raise, to take it to the next level. We're very well positioned. We have no debt in the company, and the only thing that's going to get the growth where we need it is just by adding more good people. So like every day that goes by, like the more good people add more good people. 10 years from now, you're going to be looking at hopefully a company that's impacted both people and the business in a very positive way. So,
can I talk about the Reverifi fund?
You can do whatever you want, Mr. Lawrence.
So those that don't know, also Jeff has the Reverifi fund in which he invests in deals and offers that to certain people here at the table. I've had the opportunity and advantage of being in 2 of those deals. fix and flip deals. Actually, I think Greg was in the first one.
He wasn't.
No, okay. Jeff Bond was, I think, so a few of the people, and in addition to investing in the deal, making money on the deal, oftentimes, I did the title on the deal, on the acquisition, so, you can get the tangential service around the deal, so not just, the benefit of making the money and investing in the deal, but also providing more services to the deal, and hopefully, that's something that will grow along with reverifi is the opportunity to invest in.
Yeah, like we're big believe like if you're part of the reverifi community, like if you're supporting what we're doing, we're going to give you the business back. So
we found the deal in Dumont. Contact from the Bronx sent me an estate deal. Max did the portion of the financing for the debt on it. We put up half of the equity. We raised half the equity. Mark got the title. One of our attorneys got the legal business. I was able to get Gabe, the residential mortgage to the buyer on the end, right? So everyone that was involved as a third-party service provider made money from it, right? And it's not like you made $500, you made thousands of dollars, tens of, whatever you made, so like the whole,
add that onto your return.
the whole point of it is having skin in the game and like bringing people into opportunities that they may not want to do on their own or just to be a part of something. We find a lot of people want to fix and flip a property, but they don't know how. Well, when you invest in the LLC that we buy the property with, you're gaining that fix and flip experience, which Max will tell you how valuable that is. So even though you don't do anything, you just write a check, you get your 15, we pay 50, it's nothing, we pay a premium. It's not about the money for us, it's about the involvement. Like we want you to earn more than the market's paying you. And if you put 10 grand in, you're getting a check, whatever. In a year, you're gonna make 1,500. You probably don't need the 1,500, but you're a partner in the deal. You get to be advertised in the deal, featured in the deal. You meet other members of reverifi, get the experience.
Then you can share
Bingo.
the entity docs with your next lender.
So now what we've tried to create is that ecosystem. We're bringing it to the reverifi community first. Let's stop making strangers money or dealing with attorneys that you have to monitor all day to get your deals go through. Like deal with people that you know, like, and trust, make money together, and they'll be that much more rewarding. So like that's the bigger component of it is like, there's nothing more rewarding than making money with people you like. And I could attest to that. I've gotten plenty of multi-six-figure checks. Yeah, it's cool, the money goes in the bank account. When you close a $10,000 deal together with somebody you like, you can celebrate it. Oh, great deal. Like Max and I just closed the deal for Deshaun Jackson, who's one of the top receivers in the history of the National Football League, arguably. But like, how cool that was to like put myself with Max on a, Legends deal. Like, that's just cool, and I made like $5 grand on it, whatever it was. It wasn't about that. It was about the experience, and now that's our track record, right? So that's just what I try and like emphasize. Like, obviously I don't see them often as much as we used to, but like we have a history, like 14 years we've known each other. We've closed millions of dollars of business together. We've had crazy transactions together, stories that will make you guys all fall over. But like that's part of what I am. Like all those deals that I closed in the first 10 years of my career, that was my foundation to like who I am today. So regardless of where you're at in your career or who like, don't forget to go back and reflect on like the first couple of years of your career, because that's what made you who you are. And like those trials and hard times in the market and shitheads you deal with. Every shithead I deal with, I'm like, yeah, but there's an Amal out there. There's a Greg out there. There's a Rachel out there. There's a Max out there. There's a Joe. Like Joe and I talk almost every day, arguably. Instagram memes sent back and forth, right? But like Joe and I have a genuine friendship and relationship. And we knew each other for 4 or 5 years before we even started doing business, realistically, and we met through 2 different people. But the whole premise is like, I know I can call Joe and talk about my son, my wife, shit that's going on, reverifi, and if we have a deal, great. But when we close that deal, that's what solidifies that relationship. And same thing with Andrew, Jermaine, people I have other closed business with.
We went to a doctor's appointment together.
We did, he did. Trying to put him on the right track at 27, not lose his hair by 30. But yeah, again, like those are all memories. I think like, even if a deal doesn't close, you find out who somebody is, especially if that deal doesn't close. Mark, you fuck up, like, shit, this deal didn't work out because of this. If you have a relationship that you trust behind that, everyone did everything possible, and that person's not gonna go and badmouth you because the deal didn't close. How many deals messed up because of a borrower lying to you, or a realtor lying, or overpricing a listing, or, hey, I didn't know there was a second mortgage, right? Like, oh, Mike Santo, he can't close a deal. Like, come on, dude, I've been in business 25 years. You're gonna badmouth me. You don't know what you're doing. I think having that relationship to fall back on is just so invaluable. And that's what I built my business on. So, I know Tard and I are working on some cool things together. And look, it's all about having that ability to pick up the phone or send a text message like, hey, how you doing? And not thinking about, do you have a deal for me? So You want to talk a little bit about your products, maybe? I know you talked briefly, but like what you focus on.
Yeah, I'll keep it brief still. But I mean, we can do single family up to 30-unit investment property, and to Jeff's point a second ago, that experience is very important because we can only do 1 to 4 if you're a new borrower. We can go 5 to 30 or
You talking about renovation?
yeah, purchase and rehab or ground up construction. I'll be in touch. Cool. We can do ground up construction or 5 to 30 unit if you have that experience. You have to have at least 3. So like a lot of times we'll have to have somebody who has like fractional shares of entities jump in and verify. But that's generally what we offer, and we can do 1 to 4 unit for DSCR financing as well. If you guys ever run into that.
And they're not a broker; they're direct.
Yeah, we're a direct lender.
I did an
we
investment,
do.
so it was awesome. It was easy.
We typically do about last year we did 900 million. Usually we're over $1 billion in financing. 120, 150 loans a month. So it's what we do. We're good at it. We're fast. And yeah, Jeff's been a great partner to us. So yeah, happy to be here, and thanks for coming as well.
Thanks
Cool.
for this.
Yeah.
Thanks for organizing.
My young buck, gotta take care of your young buck. So yeah, have drinks, have food, meet, mingle, network. It's almost lunchtime. If anyone wants to stay for lunch, probably be here for a couple hours.